Tonight, I want to tell you a story, a Valentine's Day story, a love story, depending on how you define love. This one is whispered from the mouth of a monster. This one is told by me. If you are listening alone, good. If you are listening in the dark, even better. Because I am. Every year, on Valentine's Day, I wake hungry. Not the gentle hunger you feel when you skip a meal or crave something sweet. This hunger coils in my stomach like a living thing. It presses against my ribs. It sings in my veins. It reminds me of what I am long before I see my reflection in the mirror. I look young, younger than I should. My skin smooth and pale like porcelain warmed by candlelight. My lips full and dark, always a little flushed, as if I have just been kissed. My eyes, people always linger on my eyes. They say they look inviting, dangerous, like I know secrets they want to hear whispered against their throat. They never guess how right they are. I slip into my dress slowly, savoring the ritual. Deep crimson tonight, the color of dried roses and fresh blood. The fabric hugs me as if it is afraid to let go, accentuating my figure. I wear no jewelry except a small heart-shaped pendant resting just above my chest. It belonged to someone once. I do not remember his name. I remember the way he begged. Outside, the city pulses with anticipation. Pink lights glow in shop windows. Couples hurry past, hands intertwined, laughter fogging the cold air. Single souls move differently tonight. They walk slower. Their eyes search. Their hearts hope. Hope is delicious. I stand at the window for a while and watch them. The light from the street climbs the glass and paints soft colors on my skin. I tilt my head as if listening to distant music, but I am listening to something else. Heartbeats, they thrum out there in the night, layered over one another like a badly tuned orchestra. Old hearts, young hearts, broken ones stitched together with cheap promises. Each of them holds a pulse of life that could be mine. And every Valentine's Day, I choose a few. Welcome, by the way, to my little confession. You have wandered into a place called Whispers in the Dark. You pressed play. You invited my voice inside. So let us spend the night together, you and I. I turn from the window and walk toward the mirror. The room is dark, but I do not need light. I see myself clearly, every smooth line, every dark lash. Sometimes I still remember when my reflection changed. Not tonight. Tonight, I simply enjoy it. I drag a fingertip across my bottom lip. The color is almost natural now. Fresh. I smile and my teeth brighten, the slightest hint of what hides further back. I keep that part of me tucked away. People are more comfortable that way. They trust a pretty mouth. On the dresser, an old phone glows to life as I wake it with a touch. Messages spill across the screen. Some are months old. Some are new. There are men who never forgot me after one encounter in a crowded place. Women who said they felt seen for the first time in my gaze. Entries in my little catalog of hunger. They wrote things like, "You were electric. I cannot stop thinking about you. Please tell me when you are coming back." I scroll lazily, my nail tapping the glass. Little hearts and roses line the edges of the words. Tonight, the whole city decorates itself with hearts, as if it wants to serve itself to me on a silver platter. I choose a message from a few days ago. A man whose profile picture shows carefully groomed stubble and a smile that does not quite reach his eyes. He looks like the kind who drinks expensive liquor and calls it personality. "Hey, you still thinking about that dance?" I had not danced with him. I had only looked his way once across the club, and that was enough to burn a mark into him. Desire is such a fragile thing. I reply, "I am coming tonight." I see the little indicator that he is typing sooner than any mortal hand should move. Perfect. Been waiting for this. Meet at Velvet at 11. Velvet. The name tastes cheap on my tongue, but I know the place. A nightclub tucked into the lower level of a converted warehouse. Red lights, loud music, bodies pressed together so tightly there is barely room to breathe. Which is fine. I do not need to. Time moves strangely for me, but tonight I savor every second. I pull on a long black coat, soft and warm. It hides the dress for now. I slide my feet into heels that make my legs seem endless, not that they need the help. I run my fingers through my hair until it falls around my shoulders like spilled ink. There, the Valentine monster in her best wrapping. When I open the door, the hallway outside my apartment smells of old paint and human dust. Voices rise faintly from other rooms. Arguments, televisions, a baby crying. All these small mortal dramas unfolding as if the world will last forever. I smile to myself and descend the stairs. The city greets me with damp air and a low mist coiling around the streetlights. Cars crawl by, some windows steamed with laughter and music. A florist on the corner is closing up, dragging buckets of wilting roses inside. I pass him, and he glances up, his eyes skimming over me. He does not linger. He is tired. His heart beats slowly. Not my flavor tonight. The walk to Velvet is short and pleasant. I like to feel the city under my feet. A group of young women in sparkly dresses teeters past on impossible heels, perfume clouding around them. One of them looks at me for a moment longer than the others. I see the flicker of admiration, the quick, quiet envy. The hunger hums softly in my veins. Velvet appears like a wound in the night. The sign above the door glows a deep red. Music shakes the line of people waiting to be let inside. Their bodies cluster together against the cold, bare skin flashing, breath fogging. Some argue with the bored-looking bouncer. Some pretend not to care if they get in at all. I walk straight past them. The bouncer sees me and his posture changes. There is no recognition in his eyes, but something inside him shifts. His pupils widen, his shoulders pull back. I see the primitive part of his brain awaken, the part that told cave dwellers when a predator watched the mouth of their shelter. He steps aside without a word. Inside, velvet is a dark red pulse. The bass from the speakers is a second heart. It slams against the bodies on the dance floor, shaking glitter and sweat into the air. Strobes slice the darkness into fragments. Faces appear and vanish in the flashes, smiling, shouting, kissing, drinking. The smell of perfumes and spilled alcohol blends with something deeper. Warmth, skin, the hot metallic breath of blood beneath it all. I shrug my coat from my shoulders and feel the room shift. It is subtle at first. A few heads turn. A conversation falters as someone loses their train of thought. The bartender, who had been mixing drinks with quick, efficient movements, slows as his eyes find me. The crimson dress catches the light in every place it needs to. I walk to the bar as if I own the floor. The crowd parts without realizing it is doing so. He is already there, the man from the message. Close up, he smells of cologne and nerves. His hair is styled to look careless, but took him a long time. When he sees me, his expression opens in something like relief and desire tangled together. You came, he shouts over the music. I did. I let my voice slide through the noise like silk. He leans in to hear me better. People always do. My hand lifts to touch his arm in casual greeting. His skin is warm through the fabric. His pulse flutters. You look even better than I remember, he says. I remember nothing of him. Only the way he stared from across the club last time, like I was an answer to a question he had never been brave enough to ask. I smile. Smiles are currency in places like this. Dance with me, he says. Soon I say. I tilt my head just enough that my hair brushes my neck. His gaze follows the movement. I see his throat work as he swallows. I see the fantasy playing in his mind already, one he thinks he is writing. I let him think it. We talk first, or rather, he talks. He yells details of his life into my ear. Sales, a promotion he is almost sure he is getting. The friends he came with who have already disappeared into the crowd. I nod at the right moments. I laugh sometimes, soft and low. I ask questions that make him feel interesting. All the while, I listen past his words, to the music, to the breathing bodies, to the hollow ache inside my own chest. A waiter passes with a tray of champagne flutes. I take one and wrap my fingers around the delicate stem. I do not drink, but that is not something anyone needs to know. The bubbles tickle my nose, and I set the glass down again, untouched. Do you want to get out of here, he asks, finally, when his courage catches up with his desire. His mouth is close to my ear now, his breath hot and tinged with alcohol. I pretend to consider. I trace the edge of my pendant thoughtfully, watching his eyes track the movement again. Then I look up and let him see the warmth in my gaze, the invitation he is desperate for. Yes, I say. He almost stumbles in his rush to pay his tab, to grab his jacket. I follow him through the crowd, my hand resting lightly at the small of his back. To anyone watching, we look like every other pair leaving the club early on Valentine's night. No one is watching. Outside, the air is colder. The mist has thickened, wrapping the street in a thin veil. He reaches for my hand, and I let him take it. His palm is slightly damp. His heart drums fast enough that I feel the vibration through his skin. My place is a few blocks away, he says. He grins with forced casualness. Unless you have somewhere else in mind. Your place sounds perfect. He beams. We walk. He talks more, this time about music, about his friends. He cracks jokes that would be forgettable if I were the kind of creature who forgot things. I respond enough to keep him glowing, to keep him certain that at the end of this walk, something wonderful awaits him. He has no idea. His building is one of those new glass-sided towers that sprout up wherever landlords smell money. The lobby is too bright and too clean. My eyes adjust instantly, but I narrow them as if the light hurts. It makes him feel like he is helping when he places a guiding hand at my waist. In the elevator, the distance between us shrinks. I smell his skin more clearly now, the warm musk of it, the faint tang of sweat from the club. His pulse thuds in his throat, in his wrists. The sound is a steady drum that calls to something deep and wild in me. He leans in. His mouth brushes mine. The kiss is clumsy at first, eager and unpracticed, but I know how to shape it. I soften, then press closer, letting him feel that I am here, that I am warm, that I am real. His hands find my back and pull me in. The elevator dings and the doors slide open. He pulls away with a breathless laugh. That was my floor, he says. He leads me down a hallway that smells of air freshener and stale carpet. He fumbles with his keys, drops them, swears, laughs again. His nerves are charming in their own small way. He gets the door open and steps aside with a little bow. After you, I walk into his apartment. It is neat, almost too neat, like a place he tries to impress people with. Couch arranged just so. Bottles lined on the counter. A bed he hopes to bring bodies into and pretend it means more than it does. He closes the door. The soft click echoes in the quiet. The hunger stretches inside me like a cat waking from sleep. He comes up behind me and wraps his arms around my waist, his breath hot at the side of my neck. He murmurs something into my hair, words I do not bother to catch. His hands roam with growing confidence. His lips press along my skin. I close my eyes, not out of pleasure, out of focus. His heartbeat fills my world. It is so close now, so vulnerable. Every rush of blood through his veins is a tide pulling at the shore of my self-control. I turn in his arms and look up at him. My eyes meet his. I let him see everything he wants. Desire, approval, promise. I rise onto my toes and brush my mouth over his, slow and lingering. He sighs against my lips, melts into me, every defense crumbling. Perfect. When I pull back, he is dazed, his pupils wide, his breath unsteady. Close your eyes, I whisper. He obeys at once. He thinks this is part of the game. He thinks I am about to give him something soft and sweet. I do give him something, just not that. My hands slide up his chest, over his shoulders, to the back of his neck. I feel the heat of him, the life. I bend my head and press my lips to his throat as if kissing him there. My teeth lengthen. The moment my fangs break his skin, the taste floods my mouth. Hot, metallic, electric. It is not like anything you have ever eaten. It is not like wine or chocolate or anything so simple. It is like swallowing light, like drinking the core of a star. He gasps, a sound of confusion that sharpens into panic. His hands push at my shoulders weakly. His body understands before his mind does. Something is wrong. Something is terrible. I pull him closer. My arms band around him like iron. I drink. The world shrinks to the narrow place between us, to the rush of blood from his body to mine, to the way his warmth pours into the emptiness inside me, filling it, soothing the ache until it begins to change. Euphoria rolls through me in a slow, dark wave. It starts in my chest, a pleasant heaviness that spreads outward. My fingers tingle where they clutch him. My scalp prickles. Every nerve sings. Colors in the room bloom brighter. The hum of the refrigerator becomes a gentle, distant choir. The texture of his shirt against my skin is an entire landscape. There is no guilt here, no hesitation, only the pure, clean satisfaction of a hunger met. His struggles weaken, his knees buckle. I guide us to the floor, lowering him so he will not crash. His blood slows, then stutters. I drink until there is just enough left to keep him conscious for a moment more. I want him to hear me. His eyes roll open. Confusion and terror swim there, unfocused. His lips move soundlessly. Shush, I murmur. I wipe a smear of red from my mouth with one fingertip and draw a small heart over his chest. I press my hand there and feel the fluttering against my palm. This is the part where some monsters make a mistake. They leave a body full of their venom. They let the poor thing linger, turn, rise again, craving what destroyed them. I do not share well. I dig my fingers into his chest, not enough to break skin. Not yet. My voice drops to a murmur meant only for him. You will not become what I am, I tell him. You are a Valentine gift. You are meant to be enjoyed, not repeated. His eyes widen as much as they can. He tries to speak again, to ask why. You asked me to come, I say, and I was hungry. His heart gives one last feeble tremor. The end for him is quiet. I do not need to tear him apart to ensure he will never rise. A sharp twist of his neck, a precise fracture at the base of the skull. I have practiced this for a very long time. There is a soft crack, then nothing. I sit there for a moment on his living room carpet, his body resting in my lap like a discarded doll. The room hums gently around me, full of life, only because of the life I have just stolen. My veins burn with borrowed heat. I tilt my head back and close my eyes. The euphoria settles deeper, turning from sharp pleasure to a languid satisfaction. Every part of me feels right. This is what I am. This is what this night is for. After a while, I set him down carefully. I arrange him on the floor with his head turned away from the door. Someone will find him tomorrow or the day after. They will say it was his heart. They will say it was a stroke. They will pick a word that makes sense to them and wrap it around his absence. No one will think to look at the small marks on his throat, too faint already. My saliva erases my teeth marks as neatly as a tide. I walk to the bathroom and glance at myself in the mirror. My lips are redder now, a little stained. I dab at them with a tissue until the smear is gone. My eyes glow faintly, but most people will not see it. I lick one last trace of him from my teeth. The hunger is quieter now, but not silent. It never is on Valentine's night. The holiday does something to me, to my senses, to my craving. One heart is never enough. Outside his window, the city keeps breathing. Couples are still moving from dinners to hotels, from clubs to apartments. Lonely ones are still scrolling on their phones, hopping for a message. All that hope. I slip my coat back on, smooth my dress, and leave him there on the floor. In the hallway, I pass a girl coming in from a date. Her lipstick is smudged. She smells like cheap perfume and nervous laughter. She flashes me a quick, tired smile, and I return it. For a moment, our eyes meet, and she hesitates, something in her gaze sharpening. "Wow, you look amazing," she says suddenly. "Thank you. Do you have plans tonight?" "I already had one," I say. "I am looking for another." She laughs, thinking this is a joke. "Good luck," she says. "You have no idea." I step back into the night. The next place is not a club. I like variety. The second course of my Valentine feast waits in a quiet bar tucked into a side street where the sign is small and the windows are fogged. Inside, jazz drifts from speakers low enough that people can talk without shouting. The lighting is soft and golden. Couples huddle in corners with shared desserts. A row of solitary drinkers warms the stools at the bar. I choose my spot at a small table near the back. The bartender catches my eye and comes over quickly. "What can I get you?" "Just water," I say with a smile. I am meeting someone. It is not a lie. I scan the room, letting the sounds settle over me. Clinks of glass, low murmurs, laughter. The heartbeat rhythm is slower here, calmer, but no less enticing. Then I feel it. Her. She sits alone at the far end of the bar, twisting the stem of an empty glass between her fingers. A red paper heart lies discarded next to her drink, torn down one side. Her dress is thoughtful rather than showy, dark green and soft. She wears no necklace, only small earrings that catch the light when she turns her head. Her eyes are fixed on the mirror behind the bar, but she is not seeing her reflection. She is looking past it into some memory where things did not go the way she expected. Her heart beats with a slow, steady ache. I watch her for a time, letting her sorrow bloom in the air like smoke. She checks her phone, bites her lip, sets it aside. I see the moment when she realizes the person who was supposed to come is not coming. Her shoulders sink by a fraction. Her jaw tightens. She blinks too fast. Delicious. I rise and walk to the bar, picking up my water as I go. I slide onto the stool beside her with easy grace. She glances at me, then does a quick double take. Her gaze lingers the way his did, the way they all do. Rough night, I ask gently. She gives a sharp little laugh. You could say that. The bartender moves toward us, but she gestures that she is fine. He nods and steps away. Blind date, I guess. She looks surprised. Is it that obvious? Only to someone who has waited for people before I say. That part is a lie. I do not wait. People wait for me, but she does not need to know that. She sighs and swirls the melted ice in her glass. He said he was on his way an hour ago. I know I should have left by now, but it felt pathetic to go home. Maybe he got hit by a truck, I suggest lightly. She snorts. That would almost be better. At least then there would be a reason. I let my shoulder brush hers in a conspiratorial gesture. Then he does not deserve you. She looks at me for a long moment. The mist of unhappiness in her eyes clears slightly. Thank you. I am Sophie, by the way. I am many things, but tonight I am this. Call me Leela, I say. Her hand is small and warm when she offers it. I take it, hold it for half a second longer than customary. Let my thumb trace the soft skin at the base of her thumb before I let go. A flush rises faintly along her cheekbones. You came alone on Valentine's Day, I ask. She shrugs, half embarrassed. I thought maybe it was time I tried to meet someone. Most of my friends are coupled up, and scrolling endlessly on my phone has lost its charm. I tilt my head. I thought tonight was going to be a disappointment for you. She laughs softly. It still might be. Not necessarily. I let the words hang between us. I swirl the water in my glass, pretending to consider something. Then I look up at her through my lashes. If you were willing to change your plans. Her breath catches. I feel it as clearly as if it were my own. Her gaze drops to my mouth, then jerks back up. She swallows. What did you have in mind? I lean closer. The scent of her shampoo is gentle and floral. Her pulse flutters in her throat, visible now that I am watching for it. You came here hopping to be seen, I say quietly. To be chosen. That has not changed. Her lips part. For a moment, she forgets to pretend she is unaffected. I see you, Sophie. Her name on my tongue makes something inside her loosen. She takes a slow breath. I do not know you, she says, but there is no real protest in her voice. You will. The idea is intoxicating for her. To salvage the night. To turn disappointment into something unexpected. I can feel the hope in her like a small, bright flame. We talk about harmless things at first. Work, music, the stupidities of dating apps. Her laugh, when it finally comes freely, is lovely, clear and light. As we talk, I let the room around us fade. I make my responses just a little slower than usual, my gaze a little more lingering. My fingers brush hers occasionally on the bar. Each small contact sends a visible shiver through her. She is not used to being wanted this openly. I am not pretending. I do want her, just not in the way she believes. Do you want to get out of here? I ask eventually. She hesitates, biting her lip again. Some old warning in her steps forward and raises its hand. I just met you, she says. I nod. That is true. But you already know how I look at you. And you know how you feel when I do. Her cheeks flush a deeper pink. She glances at the mirror, at the room, at the couples around us. At her own reflection, sitting alone beside mine. What is your worst case scenario, I ask. That I am a serial killer. She laughs, then stops when she sees I am not laughing with her. My smile curves slowly. I am teasing, mostly. She shivers. For a second, an image flickers through her mind, a flash of true fear. I see it in her eyes, but then she shakes it off. The idea that a monster might wear a pretty red dress and sit beside her at a bar is still far from anything she can accept. I know how mortals think. Let us just go for a walk, I suggest. Public street, people around. You can decide if you want more after that. She thinks again. Hope battles caution. Desire wins, as it usually does. All right, she says. Outside, the air has grown colder. A fine drizzle hangs in the mist like the breath of something sleeping. We walk side by side, our shoulders brushing occasionally. Her hands are bare. I take one in mine. She allows it, then squeezes lightly. We talk less now. There is a charge between us that makes words unnecessary. I lead her away from the busiest streets. Not too quickly. Not so obviously that any observer would notice pattern or intent. Just a gentle drift toward quieter blocks. There's a park near the river. The city lights blur in the distance, smeared by the mist. Bare trees claw at the sky. Benches crouch in the shadows beneath them. The path glistens with damp. Hardly anyone is here. Lovers have retreated indoors by now. The lonely ones went home hours ago. It is beautiful, she says softly. I look at her profile in the dim light. The way her hair clings to her cheeks in the damp. The way her eyes shine. Yes, we stop beneath a tree heavy with tangled branches. The river moves silently behind us, black and smooth. I turn to face her, still holding her hand. You are not cold, I ask. A little. I step closer, sharing my body heat, such as it is. She sighs. Leela, she whispers. I lift my other hand to her face and tuck a strand of hair behind her ear. My fingers trace the line of her jaw. She leans into the touch instinctively. I am going to kiss you now, I say. Good. Her lips are softer than his were. Her mouth opens under mine with a kind of reverent eagerness. She tastes of melted ice and something sweet. Her hands slide to my waist, then up my back. The kiss is slow at first, exploratory. Then it turns deeper, needier. I can feel the thawing of something frozen inside her, something that had wrapped itself in cynicism and sleep. When I pull back, she makes a small sound of protest. Wait, she murmurs. I was just starting to. I know. I press my forehead against hers for a moment, letting her feel my breath, my presence, the illusion of shared humanity. Her heart is pounding now. It trembles through her entire body. Sophie. Yes. Close your eyes. She does. For her, there is nothing threatening in the request. It feels like trust, not surrender. My hands slide from her face to the back of her neck. I lower my mouth to her throat slowly, giving her time to feel anticipation rather than fear. My lips brush her skin. She sighs again, a sound filled with hope and relief. I bite. Her blood bursts against my tongue, as hot and bright as the first. Different flavors, different histories, but the same core of life. The euphoria surges again, sharper this time because I let myself delay it. I had grown hungrier between courses. She stiffens, confusion flickering through her. Then pain hits and her body jerks. A small choked cry escapes her. Her hands dig into my back, pushing, then clutching. I hold her gently, almost tenderly, as I drink. The world blurs at the edges. Every taste of her is a story unwritten, a future unwoven. It pours into me, burning path after path through my veins. My knees nearly weaken from the sheer intensity of it. The euphoria climbs, folding over on itself, wave after wave. It is pleasure beyond anything a mortal body can endure without breaking. It is terror and delight braided together. I ride it with practiced control, letting it wash through me without drowning. When her strength falters, I ease her down to the bench beneath the tree. Her body curls and slackens in my arms. Her eyes flutter open once more. Tears cling to her lashes, though she may not know why she is crying. I stroke her hair back from her face. It is all right, I whisper. She tries to speak. Her lips move. What she asks is simple, wordless. Why me? I give her the only answer that ever matters. Because you were here, and I was hungry. There is no mercy in that truth. There is no romance. But on Valentine's night, people wrap everything in hearts and call it love. I am more honest than that. Her heart slows, stops. I could leave her to be found here, a tragic figure in a park on a holiday built for couples. But I do not like mess. I do not like investigations. So I lean in close, my breath cool against her ear. Sleep, I whisper into what is left of her. Then I snap her neck with the same quiet twist. The night is not yet over. The hunger is softer, like a satisfied cat now, but there is still a restless purr inside me. I could go home, curl up in my bed with the city's heartbeat thrumming outside like a lullaby. Instead, I walk. You are still here, you know, listening. I imagine you on your couch, your bed, your chair, screen glowing in the darkness, my voice filling your room. You might be snuggled up with someone, or alone with a blanket pulled to your chin. Perhaps you think you are safe because my story is only a voice carried on wires and signals. But voices have always been dangerous. This is whispers in the dark. You chose to let me inside. I move through the city as the hours spill closer to dawn. The crowds thin. The taxis grow fewer. The neon signs buzz like sleepy insects. Somewhere, a woman cries on a phone. Somewhere, a man laughs too loudly at something not very funny. Every sound is clear to me. Every heartbeat that remains stands out like a note on a sheet of music. I pass other bars, other doorways, alley mouths breathing stale smoke. I see potential in every shadow. I could take 10 more tonight and barely feel it. But I am not greedy. I am ritualistic. 3 is tradition. 3 offerings to the hunger on this sugar-coated night. The last one is special. It always is. Sometimes it is someone who reminds me of a long-ago lover. Sometimes it is someone who looks at me with that instant flicker of recognition, as if they sense what I am beneath the surface, as if they know that I have burned through centuries in a young woman's skin. Tonight it is you, not literally. Do not shiver too hard. I cannot step through your screen, not yet. But it is someone like you, someone who loves stories, someone who believes they are an observer, not a participant, someone who thinks horror lives safely tucked inside narratives, stitched up between intro and outro. I find him in a place that smells of paper and dust, a late-night bookstore that stays open for the lonely and the restless. He stands in the horror aisle, of course, fingers trailing along the spines, choosing which monsters to invite into his home. He does not see me at first. I watch him pick up a book, read the back, smile. His mind paints pictures easily. He is a good audience. I can almost hear the way his heart skips when he finds a story he likes. Finally, my presence presses hard enough against his awareness that he turns. Our eyes meet over a row of paperbacks. His gaze catches like a fish on a hook. "Oh," he says softly. "Hello," I answer. He straightens, embarrassed at how obvious his reaction is. He pushes his glasses up his nose, tries to arrange his face into something suave. It does not work. "Sorry," he says. "You startled me." "Did I ask?" I smile. "Do I look that frightening?" He laughs with relief. "God, no, not at all. I mean, no." He bites his tongue, realizing he is babbling. I step around the end of the aisle and into his space. The overhead lights are not flattering, but they do not hurt me. If anything, they make the illusion of my youth more striking. No shadows to hide lines and flaws that do not exist. Looking for something particular, I ask, nodding at the shelves. He shrugs. Just a good scare. Something to keep me up tonight. You came to the right place. His eyes dip to my pendant. He squints as if he recognizes it. He does not. No one alive does. But the shape of a heart is always familiar. Do you work here? He asks. No, I just like stories. Me too. Of course you do. We talk. It is easy. He is clever in a quiet way, his humor dry and self-aware. He makes comparisons between monsters on the page and people in his life. He calls some of them vampires for fun. If only you knew. You ever notice, he says, how monsters in books and movies are always either tragic or romantic or both. They are almost never just hungry. I tilt my head. Maybe that is how humans make sense of them. He laughs, maybe. You do not think so. I think people like to believe there is meaning behind everything. That monsters have rules, reasons, hearts that can be redeemed with enough love. His smile fades a little. You do not think that is true. I step closer. His scent is ink and coffee, and the faint spice of something he ate hours ago. His heartbeat is steady but curious. Sometimes a creature is just what it is I say. He shivers and tries to cover it by shifting his weight. The clerk announces closing time. There are only a few of us in the store at this hour. He looks disappointed. I guess I should pick something, he says. You already, did I murmur. He looks at the book in his hand. Then he looks at me. I smile. Do you live nearby? Yeah, just a few blocks. We could keep talking on the way, I suggest. If you like. That would be yeah, sure. His consent is so easy, so open. He has never learned to fear the beautiful stranger. The world has not hurt him enough yet to carve caution into him. We walk out together under the sleepy glare of the streetlights. The bookstore locks behind us. The clerk waves without really seeing us. The city feels emptier now. Snow begins to fall, thin and powdery, dusting the sidewalks. My question hangs in the air between us. So why horror? I ask him. He shrugs, shoving his hands into his coat pockets. Probably something basic. Catharsis. Getting scared in a safe way. All that. Safe, I repeat. He nods. You get to feel the rush. But when you put the book down or the credits roll, you are fine. The monster cannot follow you out. Can it not? He laughs. Of course not. It is fiction. You are listening to me right now. My words are filling your ears, your room, your head. Are you completely sure I am fiction? He goes on. I like when the narrator talks to you directly, he says. Makes it feel like you are in it with them. You are. He leads us toward his building. It is older than the other man was. Brick. Ivy clinging dead along the walls. A heavy door that groans when he opens it. My place is kind of a mess, he warns. I do not mind. Stairs creak under our weight. His apartment smells like old pages and laundry detergent. He kicks aside a pile of books to clear a path. You can sit wherever he says, flustered. Sorry. I thought I would be spending Valentine with a book, not. He trails off, blushing. Not with a monster. He thinks he is lucky. He thinks this is one of those unlikely nights he will tell his friends about forever. The time he left a bookstore with a woman who looked like a dream. I sit on his couch. He sits a careful distance away, not too close, not too far. His hands fidget. Relax, I say softly. He tries. His shoulders loosen by a fraction. He smiles. You are very direct, he says. I have had a lot of time to practice. He tilts his head, curious. What do you mean? I study him. The way the lamplight pools in his eyes. The faint dark smudges beneath them from too many late nights of reading. The tiny scar at his chin from when he fell years ago and thought he would never stop bleeding. Would you like a story that follows you out of the book, I ask. He chuckles nervously. Depends on the story. This one is a Valentine story, I say. A love story, depending on how you define love. It begins with a voice in the dark, talking to someone who thinks they are safe. He swallows. That sounds familiar. It should. I lean in. He does not pull away. I could make it romantic for you if you like, I whisper. I could tell you that I chose you for a reason, that I saw some special spark in you, that there is meaning in this. His breath catches. Is there, he asks. I trace the edge of his jaw with one finger. The skin there is rougher. I can feel the faint tremor in his muscles. Do you want there to be? He nods after a moment. Yes. Then there is. I lie beautifully when I choose to. It is a mercy I rarely grant. Tonight I let him have it. He will not live long enough to discover the truth. I move closer. Our knees touch, our shoulders. I can hear his heart trip over itself. You are part of a tradition, I murmur. A pattern. A night that repeats every year. You wanted a story that would keep you up. I am giving you one that will never let you go. His eyes darken. Who are you? He whispers. You invited me in when you chose fear. For fun, I say. You called me with every page you turned. Every late night you spent with monsters instead of people. I am what you wanted. He is breathing faster now. His fear is a sharp lemon scent in the air. You are scaring me, he says, half laughing. Good. I take his face in my hands. My thumbs stroke his cheeks. Close your eyes. He hears the edge in my tone and hesitates. Then, slowly, he obeys. I kiss his forehead first, a benediction. Then his closed eyes, then the corner of his mouth. He sighs, tension and arousal and dread tangling together in that soft sound. My lips drift to his throat. I bite. His blood is thicker somehow, rich with sleepless nights and inner lives that never reached the surface. It pours into me with a satisfying weight. The euphoria slams through me so hard I grip the back of the couch to steady myself. Outside, the world could be ending, Buildings could be crumbling. I would not care. There is only this pulse, this gift. He chokes out a cry. His hands clutch at my arms. Then they fall away as I drink him down. As his stories end and become part of mine, I let him slide sideways onto the couch. His face relaxes in death, the lines of worry smoothing. He looks almost peaceful. I sit beside him, my chest heaving with breaths I do not need. The room tilts pleasantly, edges soft. The hunger finally curls up and sleeps. The city outside sighs. Valentine's Day wanes. In the quiet that follows my feast, I feel the ache of time again, of centuries layered one over another. The memory of gas lamps and horse-drawn carriages, of candlelit rooms and lovers who believed monsters wore only visible claws. Now I wear lipstick and silk. I ride elevators and swipe through faces on screens. The rituals change. The hunger does not. I rise and straighten my dress. I arrange his body more comfortably. I touch his hair once, almost affectionate. Thank you, I whisper. At the door, I pause and look back. The room is filled with books. So many stories. None of them will ever warn anyone about me. At least, not in a way they will believe. That is what I like best. I step into the hallway and pull the door shut. By the time the first light of dawn smears the sky, I am home again. My apartment welcomes me with familiar shadows. I peel off my dress, drape it over a chair. Red stains bloom faintly at the hem, a pattern only I will notice. In the bathroom, I wash my hands, watching the pink swirls vanish down the drain. I brush my teeth slowly, savoring the last lingering flavors. I wipe a smudge of dried blood from the corner of my mouth. In the mirror, I look the way I always do. Young, beautiful, harmless. Inside, I am a cathedral of bones. I slip into a soft black slip and slide between cold sheets. The city outside grows quieter as exhausted lovers fall asleep, and lonely ones give up for the night. I close my eyes, not to dream. I do not dream, I remember. I remember the faces of tonight. The man in the club, the woman in the bar, the reader in the bookshop. I store them somewhere deep, where thousands of others already rest. They were yours for a little while. They are mine forever. And you are still listening, still here with me in the dark. You have walked through clubs and bars and lonely aisles by my side. You have watched me feed. You have felt the way the hunger sings in my veins. Perhaps you felt a shiver of recognition somewhere in your own chest. Some little echo of hunger you do not talk about. Do not worry, I am not judging you. Monsters rarely judge, we simply are. I promised you an intro, a story, an ending. You are reaching it now. Soon the video will end, the screen will go quiet. The world will rush back in with all its soft human concerns. Work, chores, messages. But some part of me will stay. When you walk home at night, past a club door and feel eyes on you, you will think of me. When you sit alone at a bar, waiting for someone who is late, you will remember the way I smiled at Sophie. When you stand in a bookstore, fingers on the spines of horror novels, you will wonder if this is how it begins. You will check the mirror before you go out. Look at your own reflection the way I looked at mine. You will ask yourself what it would take to become something else. Something that does not apologize for its hunger. And maybe, just for a moment, you will wish you were what I am. If you do, if you find yourself thinking about me later, about this voice, about this Valentine night soaked not in romance, but in something darker and far more honest, tell me. Go to the place where comments collect like little prayers. Type with your soft human fingers and let me see that you are still thinking of me. If you want to know how I began, how a girl with a beating heart became this lovely, terrible creature speaking in your ear, tell me that too. Say you want my origin. Say you want to know the first time my hunger woke and would not let me go. If enough of you ask, perhaps I will come back on another night. Another whisper, another story. For now, this one is finished. You have spent these minutes with whispers in the dark. You have listened to a Valentine story told by the monster herself. You have walked beside me as I hunted and fed, and felt the sweet, slow euphoria of a sated beast. Remember, every year on Valentine's Day, I wake hungry, and someday, when you are out there with hope beating in your chest, you may feel a stranger's eyes on you across a crowded room. If you do, and if those eyes seem too dark, too bright, too knowing, smile back. I love it when they do.
Whispers of a love so true, painting dreams of me and you. And I'll hold you close in this moment so divine. Whispers of the night.